human perspective.
Hello, great souls. My name's Paradiso, sound healer, didgeridoo player, and keyboardist.
And I am Rasamayi, singing bowl master alchemist and vocalist.
We travel around the United States touring. We play a lot of different venues such as yoga centers, metaphysical bookstores, festivals, churches.
We have been so blessed that the music that comes through us has received a number of wonderful awards, most notably the Independent Music Award for the Best New Age Album of the Year, also recognized as one of the top meditation and relaxation albums by the Zone Music Reporter, as well as one of the top world albums by the Coalition of Visionary Resources. Paradiso and I have had the profound pleasure of performing in events with beautiful souls, including Gregg Braden, Bernard Beckwith, Deepak Chopra, and have had the extreme honor of being asked to create pieces for a project with Dr. Masaru Emoto and for Humanities Team, which was founded by Neil Donald Walsh. People in our sound sessions often ask what they should expect. And, well, frankly, the best answer is we never know what to expect. These are not songs in the way that most people understand them. The experience is definitely musical. But more than that, it's an attunement to the frequencies which your soul, your guides, your angels, your masters are wanting to bring forth so that you can start vibrating at a more harmonious frequency. And the benefits can be widely varied as well. At the very least, you will walk out of a session feeling wonderfully relaxed and re-energized. Other people have reported to us that they have been able to let go of emotional patterns that no longer serve them, even addictions. Others have reported that either acute or chronic physical issues that they've been struggling with are instantly released in just one session.
Welcome to Unbiased and on the Fence. Sorry for the abrupt ending of the video. I thought it had the contact information, but welcome to the show. I'm going to go to our guest, Paradiso and Rasamayi. Thank you guys so much for being here. It's such an honor to have you here. Thanks for taking the time off your busy tour and everything to sit down and talk with us.
We're so delighted to be with you today, Shane. Thank you for having us.
Oh, it's such a beautiful thing. I was just talking to Alan and Sandra, the Twin Flame Divine Fire folks, that we love them so much. But, I was telling them earlier, like, I could just listen to them all day, just have it in the background, just, because it just gets you that feeling. You can feel like you're channeling. I told them feels like you're channeling the gods or something. It's just so beautiful, so divine. So thank you for taking the time.
We're channeling you, Shane. We're channeling all of the divine beings that are our audience. So good on you for picking up on that.
Glad it's not coming from us.
So you guys are twin flames. That's something that you don't hear too much, but coming from Alan and Sandra, I thought that would be appropriate to mention because I know a lot of the people in our audience are into that. But I would be remiss not to have you guys on because you're on the East Coast right now. You've got several places that you're visiting, and of course you can go to their website and get the exact dates and times, but I know we have a lot of people out east that they have to come see you if you come to town, and I'm going to catch you when you either in Dallas or Oklahoma City when you come back this way.
Oh, we can't wait for that. Thank you, Shane.
So let's talk about how all this came together for you guys.
Well, Paradiso goes first because he awakened far more early than I did in this lifetime.
Dates back many, many lifetimes ago. Actually, that's what it felt like. I've been doing this work for about 25 years. And I was to a point in my life that I knew I had to be doing something. My heart was aching. And at the time, I was at working in a retail store with my father. And so I was sitting, this is when computers just started, internet. And I saw someone said, the Whole Life Expo in San Francisco. And so I just felt my heart open and said, go to that. And so I went and I heard a sound that I, deeply inside knew, but in this lifetime I'd never heard it before. And I saw a gentleman playing with a stick, known as the didgeridoo. I had no idea what a didgeridoo was. And I saw a gentleman playing on the person, and I noticed the reaction of the people. And finally sat down for a demonstration. Gentleman played.
He was nervous.
Oh, I was like so nervous.
A lot of people have an intuitive understanding that this is the kind of experience that can transform your life. And if you're not ready for that, it can be challenging. And even if you are, sometimes you have to step back and think for a second. But he dove in.
I sat back for like half an hour and watched. And so I finally sat down and wow, the tone of that instrument, the didgeridoo, took me to a spot that I'd never experienced before. And after the gentleman says, welcome to dream time, I didn't know what that meant. So I went to sleep that night and I had a dream. And these 12 elders came to my dream, and these elders were not, they're like gods from different planets. That's what these beings were. And said, you're going to be using this instrument to help people. And we'll be teaching you how to use the instrument, how to play the instrument. And so these dreams lasted for 3 months. And I'm not kidding, download. Every night I couldn't wait to go to sleep. And that's how I started to play the didgeridoo. I was taught by these elders. So
that's absolutely amazing, because I went to your website, and just the ambient sound when you go there playing in the background, I just left it going, and I was like, oh man, I could just sit here and meditate. I've got too much to do to sit there too long, but I did leave it running while I was doing stuff, because I had that same feeling. There's something about the didgeridoo that just, I don't know, it's just having that constant sound there. And then the meditation bowls too, the crystal bowls added with it, and your vocals, it's just, it creates this wonderful ambience, it really does. And each of your shows is actually unique in that way, isn't it? It's not, you don't call it a performance or show. It's really is it like a channeling? How would you describe it?
It's
experience?
A channeled session, but it also can be, it's everything.
Yeah.
It's a combination of a show, combination, a massage, you name it.
You think about it, pretty much anyone who's going to be tuned into your show, Shane, is already aware that the material reality is an illusion. It's just an interpretation of the senses of energy. And energy is vibration. And it makes a lot of sense, because when you look at the creation stories from across time and around the world, what do they have in common? They have a story that goes something like, and then the divine spoke and separated, for example, light from darkness, and created the first illusion of duality. So really, sound is the doorway from oneness into duality, into
I love that.
Material perception, and that same door can swing back in the other direction. And that's really the intention of our sessions, is to dial back into infinite energy so that each of the people there is able to bring in whatever it is that is needed to clear what's no longer useful to them, or to open them up to the next blessing.
And it's not a sound bath.
So,
It's an opening.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
As
people, I'm sorry, people experience healings not only on the physical level or clearings like you're talking about. They have all sorts of healings on multiple levels, right?
Absolutely. Every level of
Mhm.
energetic.
That's
The
beautiful.
physical, the emotional, the intellectual. I mean, we don't really see the soul as needing to be healed because
Hmm.
the soul is already perfect. We just need
Hmm.
to bring something else into alignment with that.
Yeah.
But
That
on
makes sense. Do you ever
mental,
have you have people probably just streaming with tears in the audience, don't you, while you guys are doing it? I
Absolutely.
bet. It's just
Really.
probably overwhelming that because I get it just coming through the speakers. I can't imagine, when the room is filled. Anybody who's been to a concert to see someone that you really like and you hear the room filled with their voice and you really like them, it's just hard not to be overwhelmed with the emotion of it because it's so powerful. And that sound that you guys are putting out is so amazing that I can imagine probably at least half the people are probably in tears sitting there listening to you, watching you.
it's
It's
so
really.
sweet. It really is. And people are always, I'm sorry, I'm crying. And we're like, no, we get it. It's a good thing. Tears are
Yeah.
That's
And
part of the healing and the release, right?
oh,
Exactly.
absolutely. We got tons of testimonials. They're all on our website. So
That's beautiful.
stuff that we
So,
even talk over on the air. Just
right.
amazing, amazing testimonial.
What people have
Yeah.
experienced.
So, how did you all come together then, after your experience, Paradisa?
Well, I got a call from Rasamayi. She was the East West bookstore in Mountain View, the event coordinator, and got a call and said, "Hey, you want to come? You know, play at the East West bookstore?" And I accepted, and so that was in
July
July
5th
5th,
of 2008.
Wow.
And, a few months prior to that, I had actually stopped meditating because I had had such a powerful experience in silent meditation um, that I was terrified to meditate. I actually had the opportunity to see beyond the veils of illusion, and I had been practicing meditation for long enough to know that that was the point of it, but I was not yet in understanding of how far I was from being ready for that
Right.
that time. And so when I received the opportunity, I just held my breath until it went away. Um, but it did give me a really strong understanding that sound is that doorway past
Hmm.
the veils of illusion, because out of a moment of pure silence came this tremendous, deep, loud sound that felt so powerful. I was like, oh, this is going to be the end of everything as I know it. And it's true. I at the time I wasn't able to understand how wonderful a thing that is.
Right.
Uh, so I resisted the opportunity, but it did mean that when I went into the room where Paradiso was playing didjeridoos and a couple of other beloveds were playing bowls, um, and it was as close to that sound as the physical ears can hear,
Hmm.
I was able to kind of relax into it because it wasn't the infinite energy, it was the energy that my senses were able to process. So I was able to relax into it. And that was the reignition of the twin flame divine fire. That was the beginning of my love affair with my beloved and with sacred sound. And the next 3 months were pretty much a blur. Like, it's almost like we were not really in body for the next few months. We just kind of woke up
Wow,
a few months later, and we'd moved in together, and there were bowls and didgeridoos everywhere doing this work.
Shane, when I was playing on the stage and I saw her walking in, um, she basically took my breath away. Seriously, I mean, the golden light that she has, it was like seeing the sun. I mean, my soul just shine and just such brightness. And
So you
And
recognized it right
oh,
away then.
she blew me away. Yeah.
He's a little quicker on the uptake for things like this than I am. I was raised in a very intellectual family, so I was raised to be scientifically cynical about things.
I understand.
He's much more intuitive.
Since I've awakened, I've definitely moved more to the right brain. I used to be way into the left, analytical, and just like what you're explaining, yeah. But did you guys have a lot of synchronicities as you like, began to meet up, just as like signs from the universe that you were supposed to be together?
Oh wow.
It was like we weren't even in control of things. It was just like
it was like it would come there so naturally. Boom,
There.
boom, boom, boom. Yes, on a daily basis and like 24/7. Really, that's how quickly it went so fast forward.
Oh yeah.
One thing I do remember is that just after we moved in together, Paradiso was expressing how upset he was that he had to leave his roommate's popcorn popper behind. He's a big fan of popcorn.
Huge sacrifice, Paradiso.
Right? And like not 24 hours later, one just appeared next to our community's space.
A steel popcorn popper. And so I just said, wouldn't that be fun that I would see it? Because they had people, it's like a garage sale by the garbage. Like, take it or it's going to be gone.
Right.
And sure enough, it was sitting right there. Within 24 hours thinking about it.
It seems like a silly thing, doesn't it? But I guess the universe was saying, well, if that's the one thing that you regret leaving behind, then here you go.
There you go.
Can we get over it now?
Yeah.
It seems silly, but when you have a mountain of little things like that, there's no way. I mean, it would be harder to believe all of that happened accidentally than to realize that these are synchronicities. These are, and like Alan and Sandra say, when you're in the flow, and you guys knew you were in the flow. And things like you said that there was a 3-month blur because everything moved so fast, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And we've just been, it's an interesting balance to walk the line between knowing that being on the path is not supposed to be easy. If it were supposed to be easy, then everyone would be doing it, wouldn't they?
Right.
So it's an interesting balance between being challenged and being in a place of practice, but also noticing how supported you are by being where you're supposed to be.
And we worked on each other for months and months and months and months, getting rid of the old. And boy, we had some, doozies. I mean, strong energy. I mean, to a point that I remember that had a crystal, okay? About this big, and Rasamayi was working on me, and I'm not kidding you. The thing just kind of like this fell just on the carpet lightly, and it broke in two pieces. And twice.
A warrior crystal.
Yeah. So, the apartment that we're living in was on fire. People will walk by and they will look and they go, "There's something's going on in this place."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They were picking up on that twin flame energy, or?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the one became two is kind of the story of twin flame energy, isn't it? So,
right.
And I had been a crystal communicator since before this one came in and really activated things. So I knew that crystal sacrificing herself was not a loss. It was a contribution.
It was actually sort of symbolic of what was happening with you all, right?
Exactly.
Absolutely. Exactly. Yeah.
So what was it like the first time the magic happened with the music when you guys came together and like you were doing your crystal bowls, Paradiso was doing his didgeridoo, and like what was it like? Were you guys like, people are going to love this? I mean, did you know right away, or were you going to keep it to yourself for a while? Or?
To be honest, I have no idea. Because we're not really present in our smaller selves for those things. If we're doing, these smaller selves are not really there.
Right.
So I wish I could give you an interesting story, but the truth of the matter is, I have no idea how that happened. we continue to hear after the fact how much people receive from the work that comes through us.
Right. It's even like that during your shows. You don't know what to expect, right? I mean, you just get up there and begin to channel, and it's I guess it's sort of tailored to your audience. So whatever they need out there, you guys are channeling. You don't even need to know, right? It just comes through your higher self.
You just listen. That's all we have to do is listen.
In fact, it's better if
Yeah.
we don't know. Before I was working with sound as a crystal communicator, I was placing crystals where the crystals were telling me they wanted to be on people's bodies.
Right.
And people were walking away just having all kinds of fantastic experiences, and I was seeing too much of what was happening in their past lives and their current energy fields. And somehow, in consciously interacting with that, there's more opportunity for my smaller self to fall under the misperception that it's about me.
Right.
And we're not really here to have people become attached to us as their conduit. We're here to facilitate everyone's own conduit to the infinite.
Yeah, we both made the decision that we need to not to look at the people's stuff, what really it is in there. I was also would see tumors and stuff like that, and I know the more I see it, the more I felt bogged down, and more I felt I it was mine. You know, yeah. So it's very important that you don't dive into it. You just if you let it go, don't go into it. If you go into it, then it becomes yours. So the idea is just like, okay.
And then spiritual pride can happen too, and that's
Yeah. Yes. Oh yeah, that was. Believe me, I had spiritual pride for quite some time. You don't want to be in that. It's hard to get out.
Right.
Yeah.
But I know you dealt with breaking your back recently, and that had to be tough. What was that about? How did that all transpire?
Well, March 8th. Or February, okay.
Linear
What is
time's an
time?
illusion
Yeah.
anyway.
Right.
I was out in the driveway getting the mail, and to make sure I made sure there was no ice, but it was just damp with black ice. And I slipped and landed right on my back, and then hit my head. And I knew when I hit, I knew I broke something. And so I crawled all the way into the house, and there was Rasamayi. And so the doctor said that I have to wear a back and neck brace for 16 weeks. And so, okay.
We knew then and there it was not going to take that long.
Yeah,
But
yeah, we kind of knew, you know.
But we had to pretend as though the doctors were right, and just to make sure we're covering all of our bases and honoring the human physicality. But
within 3 days being home, and I had so much pain, the most pain I've ever had. I had cancer, I had surgery. That was nothing compared to what this was. So I don't believe in pain pills, but boy, did I believe it then. And I went to the dark night of the soul. And I said, oh, this is a sign from the universe that we're done. We're not supposed to be doing this again. Be doing this.
it's a symptom of nephronitis.
Yeah.
The dark side, the dark side of spirituality. Oh,
Yeah.
if you're discouraged, then you're off the path.
Off the path, yeah.
But very quickly.
Yeah, so Rasamayi says, okay, calmly. She says, well, think about all the people that sent emails of how much our music helped them through something similar to what you went through. And I said, oh, okay. And she goes, you broke the T3. And she goes, that's the heart and lungs. And then she kind of walked away. You know what to do. And so I sat there. I go, God, I haven't listened to her music in a long, long, long time. It's time to do that. So I put on Celestial Resonance. It's about the heart of Okay, so I went into that session within an hour, and I came out and I had zero pain, absolutely no more pain, and I knew that I could just take and rip that brace off and walk no problem. But
The wife had other opinions.
well,
We play by the rules of material reality, as
Uh-huh.
much as is needed. But
We-
6 weeks later,
yeah, went to the appointment, my first appointment, and the doctor says, "Take it off." Okay, I'll take it off right now. She, no, take it off. You're done. You don't need it anymore. She, I don't know what you guys are doing, but whatever you're doing, keep doing it. So I walked out, within 6 weeks. So, yeah, sound does work.
Does that make you feel like that was just so you could experience your,
Well-
be the reap the benefits of what you're doing?
That, yeah, that and also
it is a good testimonial.
it's
Yeah.
great testimonial.
And it's when we can speak aloud because the FDA can't stop us from talking about our own experiences.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
So, I say, so, and even cancer, I had cancer gone, 5 years ago. So,
It's that, here to prove that we've already completed our ascension process. We see that there is sometimes a tendency for teachers and healers to act as if they don't have human problems. And I think that's a real shame. I think it contributes to people being discouraged when their own human problems happen in life.
yeah.
So we're not here to pretend that we're like already there. We have our stuff that we are very dedicatedly working on. And to be honest, a broken back, not that I recommend anyone do this, but a broken back is addressing the central energy channel of the individual's aura. And if you are able to adjust that in a significant way, then a lot of things shift in a beautiful way. You're doing it consciously.
It could have just been to slow you down too. Maybe you were working too much, right?
That, but also the main thing that I got, it was my heart center.
Mm-hmm.
My heart center was hardened. What's happening out into the world,
All the suffering.
all the suffering. The big companies are grabbing all the money, and that was very, very upsetting to me. And so it helped me to get into more unconditional love, no matter what. So if I put hate towards these big companies, well, that's what I'm going to get.
Exactly.
They are me. So that is my other self. So I have to heal myself in order to help that.
Integrated that.
I
So
did.
proud.
I'm still working on it too, though.
Well, like I was telling you guys before, it was sort of, I guess I reached the point where I looked at all my trials and tribulations in life and realized that they were all on purpose, served a greater purpose. I grew from them more through the tribulation than through the easy times. And so at some point I realized, you know what, I've made it all the way here out of complete ignorance. I need to trust that moving forward, I'll get where I need to go. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
just like you were looking at this situation and what's the deeper meaning in this? I do that with everything now. Even if I get cut off in traffic or a dog runs in front of me on the road or anything like that, like what am I being slowed down from? Why is my path being affected right now? So I look all the time, and the more I look, the more signs I see and synchronicities, and the more I know that I'm being looked after, at every step of the way.
Absolutely. I mean, you don't get to be in this conversation either directly or for everyone who is listening or will be listening. You don't get into this kind of a conversation if you don't already have an understanding that it's all the divine plan that's always unfolding in perfection. What that means is if it's not an experience of bliss,
Mm-hmm.
it's an experience of practice. And if you're looking for the blessing and you're looking for the support, then you will find it because it's always there.
It
You
sure is.
just have to look.
And it sounds like Paradiso, when you had this experience and realized that these big companies that you saw as the enemy at one point are an extension of the divine, if you will. It sort of moves you out of that victim mentality, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. You know, and you know, I noticed that I'm less upset at it, and you know, I'm feeling more love, and it's things are starting to get a little easier.
Yeah,
Whether
you get in the flow.
Yes.
whether it's big pharma or McDonald's or politics or whatever,
Hmm.
you know, the shadow plays its part in the divine tapestry. If there were not the dark threads, then you wouldn't have a beautiful image when you step back and get the overall view.
I agree. Yeah, I always say if there wasn't any villains, how could we be the heroes here, guys? We got to have them, right?
Don't fight it. Do the be the change.
Hmm.
Be the change. If you're trying to fight it, then let that go. Try to change it.
Well, and Shane, thank you for
Yeah.
your deeper understanding and for the space that you hold for that understanding for everyone that you stand in service to.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, it's my pleasure. Yeah, everybody's sort of just along for the ride, and I just share what I'm going through as I learn. You know, I don't consider myself a teacher, just sharing my experiences because I'm always learning. You know,
Absolutely.
it's like a journey for learning.
It's all a journey. Yep. Yeah, it's a ride. That's all it is. And the ride.
And you're right. When you see that larger picture and you understand that it's all playing its part in the divine play, then you're not going to be in victimhood, as you say, and you're not going to be in fear. It's a much more empowered place where you're in a much better position to be the change that you wish to see in your world.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys have CDs out, music available on your website, and then for digital streaming. But we were talking about this earlier. It's actually better to get the CDs rather than you're missing out on streaming. Or can you explain a little bit more the frequencies,
Like
how that comes through?
MP3s is lower quality.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's easier to download, like iTunes. And so what they do, they take frequencies out, and it becomes the MP3. So when you take those frequencies out, then you are missing those frequencies can really put you into the theta brainwave activity. So it's better to buy the physical CDs, or also we have able to download in FLAC, which is a wavelength that has full frequencies in there.
Okay, so it's really the same thing as like when the computers compress an image and it makes it more pixelated and it sort of clumps things together to make it smaller. It's sort of doing that to the music. So you're losing some frequencies in there. So it's going to be good and it's going to sound probably the same, but it's going to be missing some of those frequencies maybe you don't even hear, right?
Well, it's fine for most kinds of music because your ear can't really hear the difference.
Right.
And in fact, it's a perfect way for people to introduce themselves to the work that's come through us and other workers like us to see if this is something that they can enjoy getting the work done on them with. But if you want the full benefit of harmonic overtones especially, which is what the didgeridoos and the singing bowls do, those harmonic overtones entrain human brainwave activity to theta or deeper, which is, it takes most people decades of daily practice to be able to get there themselves reliably. So this is just like the jet plane route to the deepest states of meditation where all of those incredible benefits can be enjoyed much more rapidly and completely.
And we know most people do not have a CD player anymore. So that's why we have download cards that people can download with a wave.
Get the most benefit.
Oh, it's got the wave instead of MP3. So it's going to be a larger file, but you're going to get all of the benefit.
Exactly.
And it's going to have all the frequencies as a live performance too, right?
All of the sound
All
frequencies,
yeah.
yes. We work with primarily crystalline instruments, and whenever sound is emitted from a crystalline source, that crystalline activation is present on the quantum level on the sound wave. However, you don't receive as much of the crystalline energy as if you are directly in the same material space. For anyone who has transcended time-space, they can probably get just as much benefit from listening to albums as by being in the space, but let's face it, anyone who's there already does not need this work.
Right, right. And our albums are more like prescriptions, okay? While versus live is whatever needs to happen to that audience at that time. So that's the difference.
I mean, there's no bad way to receive it. There's just good, better, best.
I got you. So tell me what it's like to do stuff with like Deepak Chopra and Gregg Braden. I mean, we got a lot of fans of those. And you even did custom music for, was it Dr. Emoto, the water guy from What the Bleep Do We Know?
Dr. Emoto is such a beautiful soul. It was such an honor to be able to collaborate with him on his app offering.
Oh, wow.
He asked to create that of existing pieces used in that app was really a tremendous honor. You know, he and Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith are two, I think, of the greatest luminaries of our time. And, you know, it has absolutely been a joy and a pleasure and an honor to also work directly and indirectly with Jonathan Goldman and Stephen Halpern and Gregg Braden. We love those co-creative energies where you can come together and make something bigger than anyone can.
Yeah, they
by
really
themselves.
they really love that because we usually do open up for them, and they said what they say. It's so incredible that people once after we play that they're already open to receive, all completely open, and they said we don't have to do that. So that's
Just blast
just
away,
blast
all those
away the old
illusions.
stuff, and then they come in and they do their thing.
That's so funny you said that because as soon as I saw your promo, I tried to get the longer one because it showed a little bit of you guys playing live, and but I couldn't get that one. But I got the shorter one. I'm like, this is perfect. We'll start with this. It's got some of the music in there that it put people in the mood because I knew right away. I'm like, that's all people need to do is hear a little bit of this, and it's going to set the tone for the whole interview. You know, because it just almost immediately puts you in a higher vibration hearing it. You know.
It's a wonderful thing that happens actually when you blend didgeridoo and bowls. Because if you think about it, what is really happening, like the greatest works that humanity is presented with right now, is the balance between the masculine and feminine, and the activation of fifth dimensional consciousness, where you're no longer falling so much under the illusion of time-space. And the crystalline nature of the instruments, like for instance, in our live performances and in our latest CD, Agape Evolution, we have a duet between the two world's largest crystal didgeridoos. As well as, you know, my bowls are not just crystal singing bowls, they are infused with different gems, minerals, and metals. So you have the activated energetics of all of the specialists of the crystalline family. But also, it's not very hard to look at a didgeridoo. I mean, it is really just a big stick. And have an instinctive understanding that this is a rather poetic visual representation of the divine masculine.
Right.
You know, the bowls are a little more subtle, like girls often are, a little more subtle, and that it is the nature of a bowl to be a container, which is symbolic of the womb and the divine.
That's beautiful, yeah.
So that balance between masculine and feminine is, I think, very relevant to the work that's happening in collective consciousness for humanity right now.
Absolutely. And then having your vocals in there, I mean, you have a beautiful voice. It all just blends so well together.
Oh,
Rasamayi, when we first met, she was not singing at all.
oh, my fifth chakra was very shut down.
And I told her, I think you're a singer. She no. But as soon as she got the alchemy singing bowls in her home, oh my God, she starts singing with them, and the bowls taught her how to sing.
The girls are excellent and very supportive, nurturing teachers.
Yes, they are.
So that's really wild. So you guys really taught yourself how to do all this. Really, I guess, taught by your guides or higher self, maybe.
Our
Yes,
other selves,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
bowl and out of body being forms.
I mean,
yes.
if I come to when I'm playing live, and if I get to if I start thinking, well, what if I did a beat like this? Okay, try to change it or something like that. Oh my God, the didgeridoo will completely 100% stop.
Wow.
And then the guy says, "What do you? Oh, so you want to take over? Great, fine with me. I can't. The didge won't play." But we're talking about learning lessons. Like, oh yeah, and then every now and then a thought will come in. I just laugh at myself. Get out of here, ego. Get out. But the didgeridoo is really the roto-rooter of clearing stuck energy. Really. And then as the bowls come in, is bringing in divine celestial.
Because, of course, the feminine is here to produce, create,
Right.
nurture. So
And you can feel that too. That's amazing. I mean, the way you described it is exactly what it feels like. It feels like, the didgeridoo is sort of grinding away the old, and then you're bringing in the light with the crystals and that lighter sound and the vocals too. And it's just so wonderful to listen to.
And kind of the most magical thing that happens is that the more you listen, the harder it actually becomes to tell the difference between the different components. They just all become one.
They do. It becomes this ambience that's amazing.
Absolutely. And that's the whole idea, oneness, so we can experience all of it. And I mean, there's sounds that comes through that we have never heard before. And we look at each other and go,
Yeah, there's these moments on stage where we're like
That's awesome, though.
like where did that come from?
We also, when time and space allows, we have a computer-generated program in our live shows and in many of our YouTube videos that actually translates sound waves, both the volume and the frequencies, into sacred geometry.
Oh, wow.
So it's just another way for people to relate to all of those frequencies and better integrate them.
Now, of course, you guys are on the road right now, so you're in a hotel, so you can't do anything live. But I was telling Alan and Sandra, our group, because we do like a meditation on Saturday nights, a Power of 8, where we combine our power of intentions. But would love to get you guys back when you're home and settled in, and we could do maybe a live meditation where you guys are playing live. I think, do some sort of 5 or 10 minute thing. That would be super.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
So where are some of the places you're going to be playing soon for our audience? Because I know we have people out. We definitely have people out east.
Let's see. I'll just have to look at that on our.
And just so people know, if you're watching this later, or you definitely want to go to their website regardless. Even if you just want to go there, let the music start playing and then chill with it for a little bit, because that's what I did. It's awesome. But their links are below. It's Paradiso and Rasamayi.com. And then their YouTube channel is youtube.com/Paradiso500. But both of those are below, and you can click right through and subscribe.
And we always have to look at our own website to know where we are and where we're going next.
Totally get it.
Yeah, we're actually in
North Carolina.
North Carolina, Crystal Coast right now. and we'll be This Wednesday, we'll be playing at the Atlantic Beach.
And Atlantic Beach, Raleigh, Tallahassee, Florida. We're going to be in Baton Rouge. We're going to be in Dallas. And oh dear,
Can they get the tickets off of your website too, or is it like okay?
And anything that we might be missing
Dallas,
will be listed there as well.
And the Mahabuta Festival too.
Oh, how could we forget Mahabuta? That is a yoga festival that really embodies the true meaning of yoga.
Oh, okay.
The true meaning of yoga, with that oneness, that yoke to unity, that is what yoga is all about. They're very invested in meditation. They really understand how sacred sound works with the energy fields, and we're just always delighted to serve that community. And our sound session will be on 11.
Oh, nice. That's beautiful. Yeah, I love 11/11. Okay, thank you so much. Alan and Sandra's been posting your link in the chat as well. And it's funny you mentioned North Carolina, because a few of my viewers, I guess a half dozen or so in North Carolina, just had a get together yesterday where they went to some mountain and some vortex or something. So they'll love to hear that you're going to be there. That's probably a half dozen people I know will want to come see you while you're in North Carolina. And you've got 2 shows there? The Raleigh and then the other one?
Well, yeah, Raleigh. Wednesday will be the Unity of Crystal Coast. And then we'll have a workshop. And then from there, go.
Yeah, we also offer workshops in addition to the Sacred Sound Sessions, which are, Sacred Sound Sessions are about the audience receiving. The workshops are for those who are ready to be consciously creating their own reality and the reality of those whom they share space with on a moment-to-moment basis. Really empowering. And a lot of people get to meet their bowl mates in those experiences as well, which is actually
Amazing.
The most powerful shift that can happen when people are ready for their bowl mates to come in. They are 5th dimensional teachers, so they're really beautiful support.
Is it pretty? I was going to ask if it's pretty encouraging that you travel around and you see all these awake people. I mean, some of us are, like here on the channel, I've got the people in the chat, but it's basically our same, 1,000 or so people that fluctuate in and out. But you travel all over. You see all these people that come out, all these people that are, do you really see us moving towards a brighter future from your perspective? I mean, you're right there in the front line of all of it,
We
Yes,
are.
we are.
And we have a broader perspective because, as you said, we're going to a lot of different communities. And what we see are 2 things happening. What we see are that there are people who are getting discouraged because they did not already have the understanding that the path is supposed to be work. It is supposed to be about you flexing your spiritual muscles enough that you are becoming stronger and stronger. That it's not just about being happy and inspired, it's about doing the work. And for those who hadn't come to the deeper understanding, they are falling away from the path. Mm-hmm. So that is happening. But what's also happening is that those people who are dedicated and established or making a renewed commitment to their practice are turning up the wattage in such an amazing way. Absolutely. They are able to emit so much more light that they're illuminating the paths of so many more people who were not even aware that they were on a path to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
So they're becoming teachers and, not just followers. They are teachers now. They're on fire. We're going to change. It is going to change. Sure, the world's going to be changing. The world's going to be different. The weather is going to be different, but we have to power through that and make the change. It's up to us.
Yeah.
I mean, all of the noise that the shadow is making right now is really only evidence that it knows it's on the way out. I mean, When do you get kicking and screaming?
Mm-hmm.
When there's
On
a
the way
tent
out.
being
Yeah.
thrown because things are not going the way that they wish for it to. So, it's a really good lesson for the
Yeah.
shadow too, to just know that there's no hiding anymore.
Yeah. Keep when you've experienced all that pain, go within, listen to some incredible music that can help you through that. And believe me, within, an hour or half an hour, you're gonna be fine. Okay? You're gonna be fine.
Yeah. It only takes 10 minutes a day
Yeah.
with harmonic overtones. The people who say that they are least able to commit to practice because they're so busy are really the people who need it the most.
Right.
And there's really no excuse with this particular delivery method of frequency, because in just 10 minutes you can have theta brainwave activity. And if you're going there for just 10 minutes every single day, it's a game changer. It's an
It is.
absolute game changer. All of those benefits of meditation, resetting your physical and your emotional bodies so that they can heal optimally, tapping into greater focus, mental clarity, creativity, intuition, and let's not forget direct connection to infinite source spirit.
Yeah,
It
definitely.
takes 10 minutes a day.
And I deal with people. I'm sorry, I deal with people all the time that get so discouraged and so down, and then you can see how they sort of get down and they can't pull themselves back out of it, because they're impatient, they're expecting more change, but it's not happening. They feel like, like you were talking earlier, like the big pharma and all this is out to get them, or that they're a victim, and they're stuck down there. But if they could pull themselves out, like you're saying, 10 minutes a day, that would help so much. And, I just try to get them to, like, it doesn't take much, it's like flipping a switch, but you got to do it. No one can do it for you, You have
Well,
to
and
take that step.
it has to be the right tool. And I think that's where a lot of people get discouraged, is that
Exactly.
if they think that if they've tried once or twice, that they should have already found the right thing. And it's interesting too, because each of the albums that have come through us and Paradiso on his own before we came back together in this lifetime, they're all very different. They all have unique personalities and prescriptions. They're here to serve different purposes. So, if anybody is interested in talking more about what it is that they are needing to shift in their immediate energy field, we are available. Whether it's the right CD, or it is a bowl, or even a crystal didgeridoo that people are wanting to work with to enhance their experience, we are 100% available to support people in finding the right tools for them.
That is awesome. And the best way to get a hold of you is through the website as well?
You can email us. You can text us. Probably the best is texting. It's a simple text, and we will reply back. Okay.
My cell phone is 310-924-2660.
Okay, is that the number at the end of the 5-minute promo too?
Probably.
Okay, because I think,
If it's 310, then that would be it.
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I thought it had it at the end of the one I played, but it didn't. But just so anybody knows, you can go actually to their YouTube channel, and which I definitely recommend. And they got a 3-minute promo that we played at the beginning, but there's a longer one that I liked a little bit better. I just couldn't get it to play, but it's got their contact information at the end of that as
And
well.
for those that can't really meditate yet,
Mm-hmm.
watch the music videos. That will help you to integrate meditation. That is why they're out there.
If you receive anything from that, then the full sound waves on the physical CDs or the download cards that are on our website will provide far more benefit.
So you were talking about, you had something that would do geometric patterns with your music. Is that on your YouTube videos? Is that what you guys use on those?
Yes.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, and it's not. It doesn't.
Cymatics.
Yeah, it doesn't go with the beat. It goes with the frequencies.
I got you.
Completely different than just like going with the beat.
Right. So
Yeah,
it's the frequency and the amplitude of the frequency, right?
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Those cymatics are so beautiful. They really are a meditation in and of themselves. You know, for people who are more visual learners or have an easy time integrating energy through this sense than this sense, they're really wonderful tools.
Oh, and they posted the number in the chat, you guys. Thank you so much. They're awesome. I tell you what, Alan and Sandra, you can't find better friends than them, you know.
Big shout out to our angels.
All right, so let me see if we have any questions from the audience before we wrap it up. I love how the purple part on there. Oh, thank you. Oh, twin flame stuff. So yeah, is it what is the twin flame? Let's talk about that a little bit, because I know a lot of people talk about twin flames. I don't normally talk about it on the show because I don't really know. But what's that like? Is that like you're triggering each other all the time and bringing stuff out that needs to come out, or what is it?
I mean, think about healing fast forward 100 times faster for soul, and also a lot of times that sometimes I might be thinking of something, and sometimes I forget, is it me thinking or is it her thinking?
Mm-hmm.
So it can be confusing at times, you know, though, like, who thought of that or who's speaking?
Is it my back or his back that's aching right now? We consider all relationships to be practicing towards fully embodying the understanding that we are all one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you think about like twins, physical twins, fraternal twins, identical twins, that's a more intense experience of that because you're sharing wombs and or genetic material. The twin flame experience is you're sharing a soul. So that's really the most intense experience you can have. And it's interesting, there are a lot of twin flames who either are not able to integrate and be present in relationship with each other, or have to take breaks of years or decades or lifetimes in order to be ready for that work, because it is super intense. Most people think that it's this la 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 romantic sweet experience. No, it's
work.
It's work.
It's work. Yeah.
But it's like having that awareness or understanding of what's going on makes it much easier, because wow, I got triggered. I need to work on that. That's an indication that that's something I need to address, rather than just sort of getting triggered and going on and being angry the rest of the day. It's something that needs attention. You were brought together to sort of help each other, like you're sharpening a knife. You got rock against metal or whatever, and you guys are helping each other through this. Now, you're talking about picking up on thoughts of each other. I got to ask you, how do you know who was the first to think of something? When you both think of something at the same time, do you think it's simultaneity because you're sort of this twin flame coming from one, or do you think sometimes one of you thinks of it, the other one picks up on it, and it's just back and forth? How do you see that? Because I find that to be strange when I see twin flames sort of think of the same thing at the same time. I'm like, which one came first?
In fact, it's a conversation that we should probably just have recorded so that we can rewind and press play every time it happens. No, it was me who said that. No, I thought it first. And we're all one anyway.
Right.
And whether it is the thought or the feeling or the sensation or the trigger, it all serves to be a reminder that we are all one.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, and always where I get in trouble with that, I would think of something and not physically say it. And she says, "Well, we are living on the planet, so we do have to every now and then." I'm not gonna get it all. I'm not gonna get it all. So sometimes I think I did say it, and that's what I'm talking about with the twin flames. Is you do need to speak, physically speak. So
verbal communication is still a thing.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of a fun party trick to pick up on other people's, whether it's your beloved or other kinds of soulmates, right? It is fun to be able to pick up on all of that. And it's not all that there is. We wouldn't be in these human forms if there wasn't much to be learned from.
Right. That's totally true. Yeah, people are so interested in getting out here. I'm like, there's so much to learn here. I mean, let's make this our planet. And, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm from another star. I'm a starseed, and this just isn't my planet. I don't like it. And I'm like, you got to love your planet. In this life, you were brought here. You got to love Gaia. You got to spread that love. She's ascending with us. You know, we're all growing together. We're all one. Even the planet, like you guys are saying. So we've got to love the planet, you know, and I think it's
why we're here. That's why we're here.
Well, and I mean, you know, we've got to own our choices. We would not be here now if our soul had not decided to be here now.
Absolutely.
So if you say you don't like it, then you're saying you didn't like your choice.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that's something to just be aware of.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys noticed psychic abilities increasing? Because a number of people are talking about, you know, I'm picking up on stuff more. It seems like the energy is coming in right now, or maybe turning on some of these dormant abilities that maybe we had a while back and lost, or maybe we're going to have in the future. How do you guys feel about that? Have you been noticing an uptick in your connection with others and things like that?
Us personally, I think that wherever you are in that process, like,
Mm-hmm.
how much have you dialed into? Where are you in that process of just being aware of your own smaller selves, limited experience? Or are you in connection with all of your immediate tribe, all of your larger tribe? Are you in connection with the global community? Are you in connection with sentient beings of all time space? Or are you never under the illusion that there's any separation at all? You know, these are all significant signposts on the journey, and wherever it is that people are, they're widening to the next step, is what's going on.
I agree.
And that's true for us as it is for everyone.
And shifts are happening constantly, so it's always changing. You might see a vision or something of that moment and now, but it all depends on us.
Mm-hmm.
All us. We can shift, then that can change. Remember? I mean, there's many paths. And all I can say is up to us. What's
Absolutely.
happening out to the world is supposed to happen. But you know what? We need to prepare for the change.
And then it's happening wherever we're at, just like you're saying. I think the analogy of a classroom is good. It's like we're all moving up a grade, no matter what grade you are. Nobody's better. We're all here to learn. You know what I mean?
You betcha.
So I love that analogy, because if you're in a higher grade, then you have greater responsibility to help those in the lower grade, but you're not any better. You're still learning. So I love that analogy. That I think Dolores Cannon was the first person I heard use that. So I love that, the classroom. We're all here to learn. No one's a victim. Everything that comes your way is a new assignment or a new challenge. And then you can have that sort of optimistic outlook that, hey, this is going to teach me something. Maybe it's going to be tough, but at the end of it, I'm going to have some new understanding or something from it. And it's not a victim thing, you know.
Exactly so. Exactly.
Well, it's been awesome having you guys here. You're welcome back anytime. And like when you get settled in and off tour and you're not so busy, I'd love to spend some more time with you guys, maybe do something live for our group here. It's just a small group, but definitely right. We're all in your tribe here. Let me just tell you that.
Beautiful. It's lovely to reconnect in these bodies.
Absolutely.
And thank you, Ellen and Sandra, for helping me get them on here. You guys are just a tremendous friend to have, and we love you all.
We love
Lots of love and light to you guys, and thank you again for being here.
Thank you, Shane.
Namaste,
Namaste.
dear ones.
Namaste. Namaste to you guys. Bye-bye. If you'd like to support the work I do, go to paypal.me/UOTF. Thanks.